J. Michael Collins from VO Atlanta, and I'm thrilled at all the great things VO Radio is doing. It's a great asset for our community, and I'm a proud listener and guest. Now, did you know that you don't have to go to VO Atlanta to be at VO Atlanta? As a special thank you to the VO Radio community, we're offering 25% off all the VO Atlanta content from each of the past 3 years. We're talking hundreds of hours of content from the top people in the industry, sharing all their insights into how to make your VO career more successful. It's the biggest conference in the industry on demand in HD high-quality video replay. Just go to voatlanta.me, that's voatlanta.me, and redeem code VOA-replay-25. That's all caps, VOA-replay-25. Enjoy the conference from the comfort of your own home and keep enjoying VO Radio like I do. Thanks again from me, CEO Anna Collins, and everybody at VO Atlanta.
Have you done it yet? Downloaded the new VO Radio app? If not, check out the new apps we created that are now for iPhone and Android.
I'm sorry, operator, I can't hear you. I'm trying to use the phone!
Now you can listen to VO Radio anytime, 24/7 worldwide on your phone.
Are you not entertained?
Download the new VO Radio app from our app section of the website.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Or click on the app link located on the player window, VO Radio apps.
I'm the king of the world!
They're here for you. Download yours today.
Whether a beginner or veteran voice talent, there's something for everyone. This is VO Radio.
She's muted.
Get your music. I was waiting for another thing.
We love it.
I know. Well, it's my thing. It is my thing. I need
It makes my day. It's just cute.
Dear.
And it's not me. So
That's how they know it's live radio and live video. So we're good to go.
I could still hear music. I thought there was going to be another thing. Anyway, hi, everybody. It's Bev standing here. I'm here today with Anthony Reese, Stacey Barrow, and the lovely Dawn Harvey. And we're hoping to have Dee Alvarez show up. But you know what? If a job came up, that takes priorities. So if he shows up, yay. We have a great guest today. We have a great show for you, and we are thrilled when you can join us. I will say that. Go to the website, VO Radio Online. You can go to the listeners tab where you can go and participate, where you can do things like the Audition Underground, what's your story? You can interact, that's another tab. Ask us a question, or you can enter any of the contests and so much more on that website. So again, it's voradioonline.com, or you can text us at 970-682-3. I'm on camera, right? 3424. There you go. And you can.
I couldn't even do that if I.
I know. Well, that's my exercise for the day. Trust me. And ask and record the question button, the info icon, and then email us. There's so many ways to get us. Old fashioned, just send an email. Ask at VO Radio Online.
You got it. That's right. .com.
I wanted to catch it.
.com. What is that? Who did
I
that?
feel
.com?
old. I feel so old that you're calling that the old-fashioned way.
The snail mail.
I was thinking, letter,
Yeah,
phone call,
Send us
on a
letter.
phone with
Take
a
a picture.
cord.
Carrier pigeon.
I like the pigeon.
Yeah.
Town crier.
There's all kinds of ways to get a hold of us, or you can join our show. So don't hesitate to do either of those things, where you can, join the Zoom room and be a participant. We'd love to have you here. But we can't do any of this without our sponsors. So a big shout out to VoiceOver Extra, the VoiceOver Resource Guide, the VoiceOver Collective, and of course, Nava. So welcome everybody. Anthony.
Hey, we want to remind everybody too, by the way, just in case, little random thought popped up right here. We are streaming live over the VO Radio platform, as most of you listening know, on your iPhone or on your Android or over the internet or whatever access you have to our website as well. But you're also simulcasting now. So we're actually streaming the video portion, hi out there, everybody, over YouTube and our YouTube channel. So if you are on YouTube as you are multitasking, you can go into our YouTube YouTube channel. Just type in VO Radio and our YouTube channel comes up right there, and you can watch us, see our beautiful mugs. Well, they're beautiful mugs, my ugly mug. And you can participate that way as well by interacting over YouTube, watching and or sending us a text, zooming in or calling in, or you can actually be on the Zoom with us by zooming in, and we will let you in the Zoom for a few minutes to give us your thoughts and feedback on a conversation we're having. And also real quick, David Rosenthal is going to be joining us here pretty soon from GVAA. So sit tight for that. So what do you think, Bev? Want to go ahead and do our first email today?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go.
You're listening to VO Radio. The views, opinions, and insights shared are not necessarily those of other panelists, guests, and contributors on VO Radio and its broadcast programs. Advice, tips, opinions, and legal suggestions are based on industry experience of the individual co-host, panelist, guest, or contributor. These opinions and comments are not endorsed by or verified by VO Radio and its operators. Listener discretion is advised.
If you're like most voice talent today, you're wondering various things relating to your voiceover career. Well, VO Radio has your answers. Here's more questions answered by our panelists live on Let's Talk VO here on VO Radio.
Listen and learn. Internet radio for the voice artist, just like you.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank Wayne from Indiana, I believe. IN is Indiana, yes?
That's right.
There's 4 states that start with the letter I, so, just checking. He would ask, can you all share more about how to interpret audition scripts?
Ooh.
That is,
Yeah. Right.
that's a loaded question, Wayne. And, and it's something that, we look at and we see all the words, conversational, authentic, warm, professional, that kind of thing. And sometimes that's all you get. So to interpret a script, to me, you absolutely want to read all those things and then read the script. And sometimes the list is so long, you don't have to be all of them. Like that to me is sometimes an indicator that they really don't know what they want. They'll know it when they hear it. And if you do 2 takes, pick a couple. You can't be warm and funny. I mean, you can be, but they'd be 2 different reads. So give them 2 different reads and pick a bunch and separate them. The other thing is if they'll give you a clue sometimes by telling you what they're asking for on how your read should go. Because if they want professional and confident and stuff, you wouldn't give them I'm talking to my neighbor across the fence. So you can use those and then judge by the script. Unfortunately, sometimes you'll get warm and or professional and confident and all that stuff, or you'll get warm and authentic, and then you'll read the script and it's introducing like you would be talking to a company, and it's difficult to do, but you do your best to pick what you can and then look for adjectives in your script and see if that will help enhance the direction, if that goes. Anthony, you've been doing this for a while.
The way I look at it is basically an audition, interpreting and approaching an audition is kind of harder than working with somebody that has hired you, that is casting you and working with you, because you have a chance then to go back and forth with them. You can have the phone consultation, a Skype talk, a Zoom talk, a GoToMeeting, whatever you use. And it gives you the ability to get a little bit deeper into the brain. It gives you an opportunity to pick a little bit more what they're really looking for. In an audition environment, it's a lot of times it can be basically an anonymous, even a private. You don't really know who they are. You don't get an opportunity ever hardly to really communicate with them, interact with them. So you're going by basically a very skeleton spec. They basically will say, hey, we're looking for a warm, southern, friendly guy. And that's the whole entire directive. Then you look at the script and you have to go through the script to find the secrets or the gold in those words. And when you read through the script, you're not reading it to try to voice it. You're reading to try to understand or interpret, as you said, was it Wayne? As you said, Wayne, exactly. You want to look at the script. You want to interpret the script. You want to find the secrets in the writing, what the copywriter is aiming for, the message, who, what, when, where, why, sex, demographic, age, What are they talking about? What's the message all about? The whole entire audience that you're targeting. Then you go back to whatever spec they offered, age demographic. We're looking for a moderate sound. We're looking for a friendly sound, whatever, like Bev was hitting. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you over time, when I train people myself, especially people that are new or reinventing themselves, that have never really had to freelance much. They've always gone in and been directed in a studio, and all of a sudden now they're having to work from home or freelance. A lot of times what happens is these people get lost because they've never had to think for themselves. They've always had somebody bounce ideas off of them. So it can be a little confusing, a little freaky for people when they're first starting out, and people that are going back the other way. So once you learn how to do it, you'll get good at it. Once you create your own formula on how to approach a script, preferably in an audition environment, you'll get better and better using like Bev's thoughts and mine and other people's thoughts out there. But you never just cold rip and read an audition. You definitely want to spend more on the front end, the investment time, than on the backside. Take the time. You should put more time into the pre-planning more than what it takes to actually lay down and record the track. People put that backwards. Sometimes they'll put more time into the actual cutting and delivering 45,000 takes, 5 minutes into pre-planning versus 5, 10, 15 minutes of good pre-planning, and then 5 minutes to cut 3 or 4 or 5 good takes and they're done. So food for thought.
Stacy?
Well, the thing about the rip and read, just to start your process, just to get a feel for what kind of words might trip you up, or what are you saying, just to read through it. And sometimes when you read through it like that, it's so natural because you haven't been overthinking it. So you'll approach it in a certain way that might be how you would say it a little bit, but not quite. And just recently, I've been working on these 3 scripts for like over a month for this LA showcase, and I have the luxury of time to keep working with them. And it's so neat because finally I got to a point where I said, what the heck am I saying? I mean, I know the who, what, when, where, how. Those are important to nail down. Who are you talking to? Who are you? Where are you? And all those things so you can visualize it. But it got to a point, I'm like, what am I really saying? Because I didn't feel like I was invested and totally connected with my scripts. And I thought, I want that special secret magic to come out where I really feel, ooh, like this is good. And I thought, let me step back. And mirror work is also good, because I wanted to pretend like I'm really talking to somebody. And if I was, what am I saying exactly? And how would I say that? And just to be a human being for a minute. What am I really saying? And why would I be telling this person this? What kind of scenario would we be in that I would actually be saying this? So those things have been very helpful for me. And Dawn, you have a lot of layers with audiobook scripts. So
well, yeah, I'm going to focus on this from the audiobook side, since you guys, cover all the commercial little 10-second reads you have to do that you, anyway, I won't whine. Our auditions are...
Throw us under the bus, why don't you?
Our reads are 3 to 5 pages of text is our audition. Okay, that's an audition, 3 to 5 pages of text. So absolutely, we're not prepping that text the way you prep a commercial text. We're not analyzing every line that way. But I mean, I have a little bit of a different process for fiction than I do for nonfiction, but in both cases, I try to learn as much as I can about the book.
Yeah.
If it's nonfiction, I want to know about the author. It's my job to channel the author and not imitate them, but channel their passion and their sense of humor, which is often well hidden in nonfiction work. But if you study some YouTube videos of the guy giving interviews or the girl giving interviews or whatever, you get a feeling for them. And then when you look at the text, you can see what they think is humor and bring that out, which is really important in nonfiction. In fiction, you're going to have 3-4 different characters. So you need to understand the story arc, the relationships between the people. You really need to do a mini review of the book. If it's not a published book, you're going to have a harder time getting information. Most of the stuff hasn't been published yet. But you maybe look at their other works. Maybe it's part of a series. You can often get at least some tidbits of information from advance information that's coming out about the book. So you learn as much as you can about the book, the characters, the author.
Awesome.
And then you go in and center it all in honesty and truth. And, that's the short version. Center everything on honesty and truth.
Bev, if I think, you'll probably think what I'm hearing is compared to, even though there's research in the cartooning and animation and broadcast and commercial and narration stuff, it sounds like in the audiobook world, Dawn, you're saying to Wayne and everybody else that's out there interested in audiobooks, there's a lot more research and time put into, again, looking into and researching the book, the title, the author, all the stuff that goes into it, like you're saying.
Yeah, you can't do a good job on that audition if you don't understand, in a fiction book, what's the story? Who's the bad guy? Who's the good guy? What's the relationships? Because you're doing conversations with these people on your audition. And so they have to be grounded in some sort of reality, which you can only get through doing the research.
Awesome.
As much as available.
That's great. That's great information.
This is why I scoff. Your audition script.
That's great information, Wayne. The only thing I'm going to add to that is I do a lot of non-broadcast stuff, and I do a lot of rip and reads. But I do a lot of rip and reads because that's not usually the thing that's going to get submitted. But quite often they'll give you no directions. So I read it through and pretend that I know what this says just by picking out words. And quite often I'll go, this makes no sense at all. And I'll have to break it down even more. But sometimes you do from start to finish and you go, oh, I see what they're doing. You've heard the connected words. You've seen the name of the company only once in the script. Okay, so that's going to be important. Or you see some word 4 times. You're not going to hit that each time. It's in the underline. So you can get little tips and hits just by reading it once. This is corporate. This is explainer type of things, not commercials. And the other thing you can do to help interpret it is go to their YouTube channel, their website, see if they have videos and stuff, and see if you can get a sense of feel of what they do. Maybe they're looking for something different, but if not, give them 2 reads, something different that's just you, that's the little something that you bring in, and give them something they seem to always fall back on. So how's that? How about we go for a break, Anthony, and we'll come back with more stuff.
Hey, we got David Rosenthal coming in here, which is video. So stick around for David Rosenthal of GVAA. He's coming up next.
This week's Nava News Minute is brought to you by...
I'm Dawn Harvey, and I'm a voiceover artist, specializing in long-form narration, audiobooks, animation, and video games. If you're looking for a versatile performer with a huge toolbox full of voices, accents, and characters, please check out my demos at dawnofvoice.com. Or if you're looking for audiobook coaching or directing, I'd love to help you with that too. You can reach me at Dawn, that's DAWN, at dawnofvoice.com. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to VO Radio.
Hey everybody, NAVA President Tim Friedlander here with your NAVA News Minute update. The SAG-AFTRA interactive strike is still making progress with AI protections in video games, and NAVA was excited to host a live town hall with some of the members of the Interactive Agreement Negotiating Committee. If you want to rewatch the town hall to learn more about the video game strike, you can do so on our website at navavoices.org under the Resources tab. NAVA debuted a new Best Practices for Kids in VO page this month, which includes resources for parents and a new contract writer just for minors. And finally, we're continuing to make headway on AI legislation at the state and federal levels. Thank you to everyone for all your support. To find out more info on NAVA, visit our website at navavoices.org. Thanks a lot.
Somebody has to be the best in the business.
Elevate your voice with NAVA, the National Association of Voice Actors. As a nonprofit association, NAVA is dedicated to the advocacy and protection of all our voices and for championing the equitable advancement of the voice acting industry. Visit the website at navavoices.org today. NAVA, together they can protect the future of voice acting and make our voices heard.
It's officially fall, y'all, and that means the new fall-winter issue of the VoiceOver Resource Guide is out now. issue number 78. We've created a fully updated special video game strike edition of the Vorg for you. 3 pages dedicated to strike info. So get yours today at one of our pickup locations near you, or head to thevorg.net. Get one shipped out, and we'll plant a tree when you do. How nice is that?
Your voiceover career is dynamic and moving fast, and market trends for voice actors are constantly changing. So having the right resources to stay on top of your game is critical to your success. That's why VO pros and newcomers alike rely on VoiceOverXtra.com daily as their one-stop resource for voiceover success. Cut through the social media noise and find the information you need fast at VoiceOverXtra.com. It's the right resource for you now.
Let's talk VO live on VO Radio. Interact with the show by texting 970-682-3424 or email your question to the show using the app email icon, radio player window, ask a question button, or send an email to ask@voradioonline.com. Let's talk VO live on VO Radio. It's here for you.
Okay, welcome back to the show. All right. Oh, we have a great panel with us. And let's see if I can remember everyone's feature. I do this. This is like my memory test. Okay. So we've got, Stacy Barrow, top of mind.
You know her pretty good.
Yeah, I know. She's like really nice. Like we talk every day. We have Bev Standing, and her feature is Inside the Booth. Well, David Rosenthal's coming up, and he's GVAA, but we'll talk to him in a minute. We have Anthony Reese with Business Sense, and Don Harvey, Donna Voice, Don Audiobook. No, that's not you. No, that's not you.
That's Audiobook Insights, I think it is. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Audiobook something.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Audiobook Insights.
Audiobooks.
Okay, but we know that your name is synonymous, with audiobook. So, and of course, I already said you, Anthony, Business Sense, and then everything else. But you can zoom in and join us on the show. You can do video, like if you have the opportunity to see us like this, you can do video and come join us and be a part of the panel. Or you can just call in via Zoom. You can do that too if you don't want us to see you. If you just want to be like a little phone icon, that's okay too. The point is just to join in the conversation, and you can do all of those things by just going to voradioonline.com, and we've got all the ways to connect right there and the numbers to zoom in and call in and all that. So let's see here. Oh, and you know what? What's your story? That's what we want to know, what your story is.
What is your story?
What's your story? What's your zip code? All you have to do, we'd love to interview you and find out like what you're all about. So much like we have VIP guests every Wednesday, often on Mondays, we love to interview just, our fellow VO coaches, mentors, you out there, whatever you do. So all you have to do is go to the website, go to the listeners tab, down to participate, and you'll see what's your story. There's a form on there at the bottom. You just fill it out and we pick them at random. And if you're selected, you get to be on one of our shows on a Monday, and we get to talk to you and interview and ask you questions. So we'd love to do that. So please fill out that form. So without further ado,
I'm glad you got that out, because I've been winded, probably passed out on the floor over here already. So, hey, we got a couple questions that have come in by a text, a couple of questions, 3 of them so far by email. So it looks like today's popular area is doing the text email thing. They're all for us and about our special guest, David Rosenthal, who's going to be joining us here in just a second as we introduce our VIP. Sit tight.
This week's VIP guest interview is brought to you by...
I'm Stacy Barrow, and I'm the imaging voice here on VO Radio, as well as a feature contributor. My feature is Top of Mind, where I talk about what's top of mind for those who are new to VO. I do all different types of voiceover, and I'm also bilingual in English and Spanish. I truly love all things voiceover, and I definitely love to talk about it. So reach out to me anytime here at VO Radio Online, or you can also find me at voiceoversbystacy.com.
Thanks for listening to VO Radio, internet radio for the voiceover community. VO Radio takes you up close and personal with some of the leading experts, trainers, coaches, and gurus within the voiceover industry. Now it's time for this week's VIP guest here on Let's Talk Live and VO Radio.
All right. So, as everybody knows, listening out there in the VO radio land and over the internet, hi, all of you on YouTube out there. We have our VIP guest joining us in the house, and today it is of GVAA's guru, David Rosenthal. And David, we jump right into some serious stuff right away. So, hang tight and listen, man. The very first, most important question I ask is typically one that everybody has and wants to know. So, here's yours. When you put the toilet paper roll in the toilet paper holder, is it paper up or down?
So all my life it was down until I met my life partner, and now it's up. It's over. and I wouldn't have it any other way.
That takes
Wait,
a lot
it's
of...
over or it's over?
It's over. Well, that's the interview. Where's he going? Really cool, man. Hey, that shows you the character of this individual has, because most people that disconnected said my Zoom went out. I don't know what happened. I had to leave the show. But anyways, hey, realistically, thank you for being with us. Stacey booked some great guests. We were really excited when she said you're coming in. He says that to all people. No, I don't. Anyways, to be honest with you, we're really excited. So for the listeners and viewers out there, hello again.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, starting with your childhood. Where'd you grow up? What got you in this madness? And a little bit about your backstory, if you will.
Right. So I actually learned, the first thing I learned was to put that toilet paper roll under, so that, it made for a lot of happiness and peace in the house. And because there was peace in the house, I became more creative. I was allowed to become more creative. Been acting for the stage since I was 13, and then I went to college. High school, did tons of plays, and musicals, and then I went to college and did it there, and then I went into New York and I did it there before New York ate me alive as a young 20s something who didn't know what end was up yet. Did some interesting stuff, and I would never say no to it, but I needed a break from acting after that. So I came out to San Francisco, kind of did everything else in the world besides that. I was a house painter, record store manager, cab driver, it goes on and on and on. Waiter, obviously, caterer, and financial advisor for 10 years. But actually, at the time that I became a financial advisor, and I'd had this kind of epiphany about, okay, I found my place in the world without voiceover, without acting, just as me. What do I want to do?
When I grow
damn
up.
it, if it wasn't acting again. Yeah. But the thing is that I approached acting not as something I had to do in order for my own self-worth. It became something I loved to do and wanted to do. And as a result, because I didn't have to do it, because it wasn't hooked into my ego anymore, it wasn't hooked into my self-worth, I did stuff that I don't know that I would have done otherwise. Just kind of threw it out there into the world. Wild stuff, crazy stuff. And I got booked. I started booking all the time because I didn't care in that same way. And I realized that I was free. And that's that freedom that allows us to do things in our choices as actors, voice included,
right?
That really makes a difference. That will perk people's ears up and stand at attention and go, "What the heck is that just now?" Right? And in this day and age, when there's so many people doing this, you need to stand out. You really
That's
do.
cool. And Jason, actually, one of our listeners, that was his text he sent in. Can you share one secret you want to tell people about, especially me? What makes the difference? I think you just said it. My old man used to tell me that, get out of the way of yourself. And I think that's kind of what you learned, right? Was the secret that Jason's asking is, what do you do? And you found out, get out of the way and don't take yourself so seriously, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's very, very much so. It's all about, voiceover in the end is all about sharing joy, I think. I think it's about creating relationship. And you need, your voice needs to be heard in this world, Jason. Everybody's voice needs to be heard in this world, okay? And if you understand that, there are a lot of ways to put your voice out into the world. It doesn't have to be voiceover. But if it is, like you and I and everybody here, if it is voiceover, that the current, the stream, the river, the force that moves our voice into the world is our soul. It's our joy. It's our want to connect with other people. It's to create meaning with our voice and our heart. And so if you can openly do that, and I think so many people have been hurt in their life by being true to themselves, by being themselves. When we're kids, right? When we're just a kid and growing up, we have this amazing relationship with the world plays with us, we play with the world. And then one day someone comes along and whack, shut up, stop that, grow up, what are you doing, right? That's a very traumatic experience. And we all go through it.
Very true. Would you say that you were a ham when you were a kid? Going back to your kid comment there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You find you were a
for sure.
natural ham and you had an ambition, a longing to be the center of attention in a way?
No, I don't know about the center of attention, but I knew that that I loved making people laugh. I knew that I loved sharing that excitement with people. But once that trauma hits, we put away all that stuff because we relate that playfulness to getting whacked in some way or another, not necessarily physically. And I believe that it is our job, it is our hero and heroine's journey to go back and reclaim what was our birthright, our right to play. And but we need to go back and get that consciously, okay?
Wow.
Because it was taken away from us unconsciously. And so if we can go back through the muck of the trauma and say, this was mine, and I am going to take it back and own it, guess what? Consciously, no one can take it away from you anymore.
Nice.
It's not the same. And that way you can bring that into every voice job you do and hopefully your life.
That's well said. I hope your listeners are listening to that and take that advice. If not, you can check out the encore rebroadcast tomorrow because there's gold in that. Bev Standing, you have any thoughts you want to pick a brain of David here with or a question for him?
Hi, David.
Hi, Bev. Good to see you.
Long time. There's a ton of questions, but one of the things I'd like to ask you is your opinion on, we'll go commercial demos at the moment. Everyone says get a commercial demo first, but there's so many different levels of commercial broadcast. How do you address that in a single demo? Let me ask you that.
Right. So actually, at GVAA, when we make a demo, and we only make demos for people who we are 100% sure are going to be able to compete at the same level where other people are booking and have been booking. Otherwise, we're not going to do that. There are other places that do, but we do not.
Am I hearing you say you're not a demo mill?
We are very much not that. I will tell you right now, it's not a great business model.
Demand some champagne.
Being very strict about who we make demos for is not a great business model, but it is one that I think has created with GVA a great deal of honesty and transparency, and we're real about the way we go about doing stuff. But what I would say is that the way we make a demo at GVAA is, before we make a demo, if somebody is ready, we brand that demo, and we brand it not only to the person, but how they're going to market it afterwards. Okay, so I won't even put a spot on there until they say how they're going to market it. Are you going to market it mostly locally, regionally, nationally, internationally? Because what we put on that demo is going to have everything to do with the way you market it on the other side. Are you looking for a national agent, or are you looking afterwards to go into the Chamber of Commerce with a demo that has a lot of local chain spots on it that people can go, oh my God, that's me, this is great. So we're very careful, Bev, about how we create that commercial demo, because as you said, there are so many levels of what commercials are these days. We want to be able to shape and pattern that in a way that has the most bang for your buck in terms of the way you're going to market it. A lot of people I don't know do that, but we care very deeply about that.
Yeah, that's a great answer. When you go out, everyone says get a commercial demo first, just get a commercial demo. And Anthony touched this on Monday, and he said like there's so many different genres within the genre of commercial. Again, local, and it's just, automotive, whether it's a local
Right.
spot or a national spot, it's a different read, but it gets expensive. So
Yes, and
that makes
Bev, I also don't believe that it has to be a commercial demo first. It's only a commercial demo first if you are really seeking agency representation, because obviously that's the way they make most of their money, and these days that's something they want to see right out of the gate. Now, I talk to people about what their goals are as a business. GVAA has reshaped our whole website, our whole brand so that people can understand we are in the business of helping people create professional voiceover businesses, not just be a great voice actor with a demo, goodbye, good luck. Okay? We take you literally through all the other steps. Once you make your demo, that's the beginning, not the end.
Yeah.
Right? And so, it's so important that they understand that how are you going to market? And some people say, well, I'm not really looking for an agent. So great. And you say, we want to do some of the pay to plays. You want to go onto LinkedIn and make some personal connections. Let's do a corporate narration demo, or you get into audiobook. Great. You don't really even have to have much of a, for audiobooks, you have to have some wonderfully beautiful samples, and you have to have some, nonfiction, fiction, whatever you're really great at. But that's an easier thing to get going. Although understanding how to, how ACX works and all the other publishers work, that's a whole nother learning curve that we have at GVAA.
Yeah.
So there's no one answer. There's a lot of people who want to do character work, and I say, just making a character demo on its own, it's going to create its own challenges for you in terms of how you're going to market it. Are you ready to do this and this and this? Because just having a character demo, unless you live in LA or New York, ain't going to get you into the agents. And so there are other paths to take. Do you want to get in touch with some indie gaming devs? Do you want to, do your research and find people online who have done this? Get on other rosters. But we're so careful about how we make a demo and for who we make a demo for, and then what kind of demo it is and what the marketing plan and strategy is after.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
great answer, David. Thank you.
Really great. And, I think what he's hitting on there, if you listeners are really paying attention, and you viewers as well, simulcasting over YouTube, is you want to make sure that you hook up, whether it's GVAA or Bev or myself or Deb or other coaches and trainers that are paying it forward in the industry and are honest and share hard love. You want a mentor. You don't want just somebody looking to take your college fund or your kid's credit card and debit card and make you a demo or give you lessons and then say, take care, bye-bye. You want somebody who's going to stick with you, be in your corner and be your trainer, as well as expand you by sharing you with other good mentors out there. More coaches, the better. But at the same time, you don't want to get caught up in mixed messages. You don't want to get to the point of where you're working with so many coaches that different coaches are giving you different messages. You want to have I feel like you want to have your return home coach or trainer that you can go back to. And it sounds like what David and them are doing is they're acting like they're starting to get around to becoming mentors more, as well as developing a demo. And I know that that's one of the questions that we're going to be addressing actually on our VO2B on Friday. Is one of our questions we wrote in already for the agenda is, I have a demo, now what? And that's what somebody wrote me. And I actually answered that for them. I drove them to one of my videos, but it made me decide that Friday, we're going to talk about that a little bit in depth Friday, what to do. So you're hitting home run right here, David, for sure, man.
Right.
Stacey, have any thoughts?
Oh, real quick.
Go for it,
yeah, I mean, the hard part is, that question itself, I have a demo, now what? See, that would never happen with a GVA student.
Right.
Because they would not be allowed to have a demo without knowing what happened next.
That's right. You got it. Oh my
Okay.
Lord God. Hey, I think I did a demo, so I'm gonna be calling you soon, man. Just joking.
Yeah, there you
Hey,
go.
Stacy, go for it, man.
Okay. Well, David, given
Hi.
hello. Oh my gosh.
Hello.
With all the different things that you do, all these different hats that you wear these days, and coaching and the demos, do you still do voice acting? And if so, do you audition? And if so, how often?
Good question.
Right. So, no, that's a great question. So, I actually, the only voicing I do now, so I do a lot of casting, mostly in the character-based field genre. Although I do some explainer videos and some corporate narration, but mostly just in the character vein. And so I also, over my 40 years of voicing, can you believe it? 40 years
So you started
of
10
voicing.
years before you're born then.
Thanks you. That's very cool. Hey, I'm going to be 70 in 2 years. So, hey,
No
all right.
way! Oh my
Wow.
gosh, whatever you're
Way.
doing, keep doing it.
Thank you.
I mean,
But,
obviously.
no, so I had a nice book of returning business, nice foundation there. So I am only voicing for repeat customers, and lots of times if I recently was directing a couple of cartoon series, the client would say, "You did that really well. Get in there, do that one, do that voice." So that's what I'm doing these days because CEOing takes a lot of time, coaching and mentoring. GVA gives free 15-minute consultations for any reason to anybody if they're either, already a pro or thinking about being in the business at all.
Yep.
And so I do all of those. The Cup of Joes, we're going to start doing a quarterly Cup of Joe for the public again. I had been doing it for 4.5 years for the public, took it in to GVA members only for more value, but man, people have been screaming for that, so I'm going to bring it back quarterly. So I do a lot of pro bono work, let's just say that. So with casting, coaching, making demos, and my time is full. So I've also gotten to the point in my life where, after having voiced just thousands of projects, getting a job does not actually have the same oomph that it used to.
Exactly. That's right.
But when somebody calls me up and go, "David, I got the job! I can't believe it!" because we worked on it together before
You
they
get the
sent
high
off
more
their
than you would if it
audition.
was your own, right?
Oh my God, it's
I hear
so
ya.
wonderful. It is
Yep.
so beautiful. Yeah, I've had, some of my people called me crying because I finally got on a Disney movie or whatever. I mean, that has been just amazing. That makes me, I go to sleep at night with a big smile on my face.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I have had such a fortunate life. I was on camera for 20 years. I did over 70 national commercials on camera. That's a lot. But that's because there were a lot fewer of us back then doing what we were doing.
It was a national market, not a global universe market.
Right, exactly, right. And so no, I'm just grateful to be able to keep doing the work that I do, to put smiles on people's faces, to keep them motivated. But thank you for asking that question. That's a good question.
That's a good question. Let's have Dawn ask a question. Then I promise I got to get to at least 2 or 3 of the viewer listener email text. Well, we already answered Jason. So Dawn, what do you got?
Okay, I got one that's going to bring everybody way down.
Oh God.
But I mean, childhood trauma. I've been studying trauma for the last 3 years in depth because, I have ADHD and CPTSD, trauma, huge trauma. So my question to you is, how do you go back and reclaim yourself? How did you go back to reclaim yourself after that trauma?
Good question. I thought that
Right.
too. Good question.
Trauma does a lot of things, but one thing that it does is it isolates you. You become Whereas before in the world, you felt a part of the world as a kid, where the world played with you and you played with the world, all of a sudden you feel very isolated. You feel less than. Anything is less than what you were before, which is part of that beautiful flowing river. And so it's really important to find joy in little things that you do and start to understand that that's a microcosm of something bigger. But you need to find it small first. You need to find those small moments that create a connection again. Therapy is very important. I'm all for therapy, especially if you can find somebody who's really good at what you do. Start to stretch those play muscles again. They have atrophied. And the more you just, I tell people to look in the mirror and smile and talk about all the crappy things that happened to them that day. And just because it literally takes down that kind of formality of isolation and this and other and them, and you just end up in this ridiculous place where you're smiling and at yourself, and you're looking at yourself and seeing you for who you are. I also think that if that trauma is related to something very specific, you need to remove yourself enough from whatever that was specifically to be able to breathe again, to be able to have perspective. And that takes time. The more love that you can give yourself, the more you can give yourself a hug at a bad moment, and just, that's going to do wonders over time. You need to give yourself time, and you need to give yourself a million chances to fail and get up again.
That's right.
Yeah. But I thought,
awesome.
Don, that's a fantastic question. And we are all fellow travelers, Don. So right on.
Yeah, and that was a great answer.
Really was.
Yeah.
And it reminded me right away, the first person, believe it or not, that I thought of was, you remember that old SNL character that would look in the mirror and go, "People love you. By God, you're good." And he would talk to himself. Right away, I thought about that. You got
Was
to
it Peter
become
Smiley or something like that?
something
or-
like that, right? Or he had had a name of some sort, right? He wore like a safari hat or whatever. But you got to surround yourself with people that are positive, lovers, not haters, and you got to find that also ability to find your self-confidence again. And the way you do that is surround yourself in the light. And I don't mean necessarily spiritual light, because not everybody's in the faith and religion and spirit, but you got to find that positive influence in your life. And there's people out there in the VO community. I mean, everybody here, from yourself joining us today, to Stacy, to Dawn, to Beb Standing, to Deb Monroe, to Dee, to all 42 that people are contributing on VO Radio over the last 2 years. We're entering into our third year this week, have all contributed because of their love for community, and they're trying to pay it forward. So definitely, I know I'm tanging a bit, but you, the listener and the viewer, take what Dawn and David just said. And the reality is you can find support and positive mentors, friends, peers, and people in the industry you're in already. You don't have to go elsewhere. Right in these 1,000, 1,200 active voiceover talent are people that are all about giving it back and paying it forward. So, hey, let's go into a couple of texts before we wrap up here. One that I was going to ask you, but already getting asked by Siren. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. I can't tell how to spell. I think it's Siran. Cirann, Saran, right? Saran. She wants to know, or he wants to know, again, is, and I was going to ask it earlier, how did you guys arrive at the rate we are using as voice actors? So the non-union rate that everybody seems to be leaning towards, that you guys have created. How did GVAA arrive at that? How did you guys decide? Because everybody's now leaning that way.
Right. So if you go to the rate guide, you'll notice that there is no single rate. There is a rate guide.
Right.
There is a guide for each and every time and placement usage, and there is a range. So it's a rate range. We're not telling you, we can't by law tell you it has to be this price. What we have done is we, over time, We have talked to tons of actual working actors out there as to what they are making for this kind of job. We've talked to agents, casting directors, production houses, ad agencies, and we have created this, this incredible compendium of rates that with this range. Now it's up to you within that range. You don't want to go below that range for sure, because then you're just kind of diminishing everybody. It's
That's right. Devaluing it. Yep.
Endless spiral downward. It's really important to know your worth and to stand up and to be able to teach businesses. Businesses simply need to be taught.
Right.
And they need to be taught with, as I said at the beginning, with joy, with relationship, wanting to create something together. You do that with good spirit, and you can teach them anything. We actually, GVA just created a national rate board, and we have agents, casting directors. We have, Rolf from V123. We have all sorts of people on that board across the nation. And we're talking together to make sure that every single aspect of what's out there today is represented, and represented with the rates that are still happening for real out there.
Right.
So yeah, we're doing a lot.
I think a lot of people, and Bev probably agrees with me, because we've talked about this before, so has Deb, is a lot of people work for food. The old Lodo used to be the whole $5, I work for $5 thing. And I think what happened was way back in the early 2000s when the pay to place kicked in and started, which me and some of my peers were one of the very first 50 that signed up with Alex or Alejandro and Isabel at the time, is the industry kind of was devalued when they made everybody start working for each other, cutting each other's throat. And it took the industry valuation by the hour rate down to where it was nothing. And I think now, thanks to GVAA and what you guys have done, and Nava and others, the industry is starting to finally become coherent enough to everybody starting to support. I think we're all going to have to work for this kind of a rate. And it's almost taboo to go under that unless you're a real beginner. You really want to look at that grid and that guide and have a feeling, okay, well, I'm starting out, so I can probably take that lower rate. As I work up a year, I can go to the middle. And as I get 2 or 3, 4 years down the road, I'll work up to my upper range of that guide.
Actually, no, I would always start with the upper range.
Upper range, you can work your way down. Yeah, I think you said that, Bev, the other night, didn't you? I think Bev said that actually the other night. She hammered that idea home. Start at the top, you can always negotiate down. It's like that. But
look, when you start in this industry, okay, you're a pro. If you're out there, you
got to have that attitude. That's right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know any, lawyers or doctors or plumbers that go, well, I'm just starting out. So, they're,
It's true.
So, no, it's true. And actually, we have so many success stories. All of our GVA members get free rate negotiation advice. One of our members, that had been offered $500 for a job that she ended up negotiating because of working step by step with the business owner, with the company, with the corporation, for all the different time and placement usages, went from $500 to $15,000. Okay.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, and she did it.
That's the art of the deal, so to say. Yep, yeah. For sure. Hey, I want to wrap things up because we're going to do our Who's That Voice segment coming up real quick. What's the best way for those that we didn't get to their emails and texts to reach out to you? How can they best contact you directly?
Right. So a couple of things real quick. For people who are watching this show and they're interested in GVAA, take down this discount code. It is GetGVAA, GETGVAA, GetGVAA. That is good. We have an annual plan that's $7.99, but it'll be $6.50 if you want to do that. If you've already heard a lot of great things about GVA and you want to take advantage of that. Otherwise, it's good for a free month as well.
Awesome. So get GVAA, And that is the code for a yearly plan at $6.99, you said?
$6.50 from $7.99.
Now,
Yeah,
what
it's
does
a
that mean, that yearly plan? What does that include, a ballpark?
So
of
the
what it
membership
includes?
allows you to do 2 workouts with fantastic coaches and casting directors. We have an agent on our staff. We have casting directors on our staff. You get workouts with them monthly and get live feedback. We have a video library with over 500 hours of content that has all of our webinars. Members get webinars for free. Other people are paying, they're $59, $79, whatever, for per webinar. Monthly rate for GVA is $79, but as I said, you can get that for free for a month. Or if you want to take advantage of a $6.50 rate for a whole year, that's incredible. That's like months off, months for free. And then we also do a themed webinar every month. We do Q&A every month. We do a rates and negotiation webinar every month. They get 10% off demos if and when they're ready. They get 10% off of any other live stuff that we do. They get free rate negotiation advice, which is why that person ended up making $15,000 instead of $500. So that's
amazing.
yeah. And so all you have to do is go to globalvoiceacademy.com and go to the membership, and you decide whether you want to do the annual or the free month, and you put that discount code in, and voila. Okay. If you want to talk to me for 15 minutes, you're more than welcome. Just email me at David Rosenthal at globalvoiceacademy.com.
There you go. Hey, man, thanks so much for being on. We're so excited about having you in here for sure, man. We'd love to have you back. So I'm sure Stacey will beg you to plead you to come back and do another
She
VIP
won't have
with us.
to do that.
And if we can't do that, we got to definitely get you involved and see if we can't get GVAA involved in
you bet.
the VO Radio project a little
You
bit
bet.
more. I know when you touched base once or twice over the last couple of years,
Yep.
we never really worked something out. So let's see if we can't get you somehow.
Okay.
Some synergy going between us and
You
you guys.
got it, sir.
The other thing too is we're going to take a break. We got one more question, but we're going to skip that because we're running late. So what I'm going to do is jump right into that. Who's that voice that we do here? So if you want to stick around for about 6 or 7 more minutes with us, man, you can help us out and wrap up the show here. We'll do this first.
I will have to check. I have a hard out. Usually at 3, I have a client, but
then that's fine,
tell you
man.
what, I'm going to put myself on pause here for a second.
Sounds
and
great.
Then I'll check with her and see if I can come back.
Sounds fine, man. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. You've been listening to us interviewing VIP guest David Rosenthal. Make sure to check out the GVAA information. If you want to see this interview again, you can catch it live, the video on YouTube tomorrow after 24 hours, so sometime tomorrow evening. And you can listen to the encore tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And his interview, the excerpt of his entire interview will also be placed in the Let's Talk VO section of the site within 24 to 48 hours typically. So with that said, let's go ahead and play this Who's That Voice?
This week's Who's That Voice is sponsored by...
Hey there, VO radio listeners. It's D here, your friendly neighborhood tattoo VO. For those who don't know, I'm a voice actor and audio producer helping clients all over the world. If you need your message to stand out so that you can leave an indelible mark, reach out at tattoovo.com or search Tattoo VO on your favorite social media app and see why hundreds of clients in over 60 countries trust their brand at Tattoo VO. Till then, keep shining. Tattoo VO, lending a voice to those who demand to be heard.
Who's that voice?
I beg your pardon.
Do you have a knack for knowing a voice? Can you recognize a voice with your eyes closed?
Oh, I just rescued a tiger.
VO Radio wants to give you a chance to win free coaching, online courses, and other great stuff.
Greetings, Earthlings.
Listen to Let's Talk VO and VOTubi for the weekly voice of the day.
There's a secret mission.
Then fill out the Who's That Voice contest entry, and you'll be added into our weekly drawing on the Let's Talk VO Live the following Monday.
I think that I've lived like 3 lives.
Now let's test your ability to recognize a voice with this week's Who's That Voice?
All right, let's hand it over to our own Don Harvey, who's going to tell you what you need to do and set up the Who's That Voice.
That's what am I going to do? So, Who's That Voice? The prize today is a free hour of coaching with Deb Monroe, our own voiceover chef. Last week's winner was Keith Clinkscales, and he won a free downloadable digital webinar from VoiceOver Extra. So, do you want to play us that mystery voice?
You got
there,
it.
Mr.
All right.
Anthony?
Now, this one's a little bit short, so I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to replay it one more time because it's a little short, but you got to listen closely. So here we go. Get those ears ready.
Just think, our whole family packed together on a long, slow trip across country.
I know it was short. Let's try it again. Here we go. One more time. Play.
This week's
Oh, that didn't work. Let's try that again. Come on, board up guy. There we go. It's not playing, guys. Want to play it?
Just think, our whole
Do you want me to
family
just
packed together
imitate
on
it?
a long, slow trip across country.
All right, there we go. So hopefully you heard that twice.
All right.
Tell them what they got to do now, Dawn.
Okay, so you're going to have to let us know that you know who that voice is by filling in an entry form on our website. And perhaps you will be the winner of a free hour of coaching with Deb Monroe, our voiceover chef. So get your entry in and we'll announce our winner next Wednesday.
You got it. And
See?
actually, you're going to
All
have to
right.
go to the website, fill out the form, and then we're going to have a chance to play it again for you on Friday during the VO2B. And then on Monday, you can listen to it. And like Dawn said, you can actually hear who the winner is. So each week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can play. And then we announce who the random drawing winner was of the people that got the correct answer, I guess, submitted and all that jazz. So, okay. So we're
Yeah,
going to
it's
go
not
around.
really random.
Yeah.
You got to get the answer first and then
That's
it's
it.
random.
You got it. And I remember we used to do that. What's that sound, or what was it called? Name that
tune.
Name that tune. People would write in the wrong answers constantly. Like we would play, and we'd even give away hits. Like what is it? Like we'd even say Elton John is going in concert in Vegas pretty soon. They would guess like George Harrison, you know. So, anyways, hey, let's wrap things up by going around the horn, and we're going to wrap it up by final thoughts. Who hung around for a few minutes with us with David Rosenthal of GVAA. David, final thoughts you want to share?
Just how grateful I am to all you, and just being able to share on this platform. You guys are doing a tremendous, wonderful service for the voiceover community, and I hope you guys keep it up. And I'd be happy to help you in any way. I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
I love
That's what
it.
we're all here for. So
Love it.
Thank you for
Thank
today.
you.
Well, thanks for coming in and sharing your wisdom for sure. So, let's go with Bev Standing. Bev, final thoughts.
My thought for the day is following up on the VOA, VO Atlanta conference. There were so many people there, and I was just so impressed by how friendly and kind and helpful everybody was. Just looking for a room, dropping something, couldn't find whatever, didn't have anyone to sit with, didn't know anybody. It's the best industry. So if you want to get into this industry and you're struggling, reach out. There's someone there to grab your hand.
Hey, let me ask you a question about that. I should have asked it of Jay Michael when I was talking to him, but do they have any kind of a share room where you can actually hook up with people if you don't have you're only going by yourself? Do they allow you to share a room with somebody random, like a way to save for you 2 or 3 people to share a room together?
They have a Facebook group that you could reach out and say, I need, there's 1,000 people. Likely, you know, somebody that's going. Lots of people share rooms. The one thing they did this year where they had a camp, leaders that I can't remember what they called them, but they were given someone that had never been to the conference before. They met them and they walked them around and introduced them to people. And
Like
stuff.
ambassadors or something
Oh,
like that?
you mentioned they were like a Commodore or something.
Commodores.
Like that, you said?
Yeah.
And they had anyway, yeah, they had Star Trek pins. They were the coolest.
Camp counselors.
Camp counselors.
So I would think that there may be some back. I want to look for somebody, but there's the Facebook chat. Easily you could find somebody.
Awesome. That's good stuff. Let's go with Don Harvey. Don Harvey, final thoughts.
All right. Well, sticking with the trauma theme, go out there and find something that makes your soul explode, whether it's walking in nature or talking on the phone with a friend you haven't talked to for a while, or, just being cheerful and friendly with everybody you interact with every day, particularly frontline workers. They get beat up all the time. And if you just share some joy and give them a smile, that's going to brighten your day and certainly theirs. And boy, if they work for the Social Security group right now, give them a lot of joy. They need it. They need it.
Oh, yeah.
Really good stuff there. And last but not least, of course, our own from Top of Mind, Stacey Barrow.
You know, David talked about giving yourself freedom, you know, or the right to have that freedom. And, you know, in one of your versions that you're doing, as long as you're within the specs, have a little fun. Or, like we talked about before in other shows, throw it away. And by saying that, it doesn't mean, you know, do a piece of trash. But, I mean, just say it. You know, it's funny. I happened to get a like on a pay-to-play and a short list today just because I did that very thing. You know, I was like, I'm just going to do it. You know, and I just did it. And look, that's the one that they liked after all the thought that I gave everything else. See, isn't that funny? And that was freedom. That was like a freedom just to be myself and just do it. So take the freedom.
Said. Awesome. Well said. Hey, good luck, by the way, Stacey, because I know we're going to that showcase thing with La Lapidas on this weekend. So we're all pulling for you.
Yes,
hey, thanks for tuning in to this installment of Let's Talk VO here on the VO Radio platform. And our guest today, if you missed it, was David Rosenthal. Make sure to check out the encore rebroadcast of the whole show tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, it'll be on demand soon after. And you can also see the video live on YouTube again tomorrow on demand as well on YouTube. So you want to check that out. Join us Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time for our next VO Tubi. We took the last couple of weeks off because of VOA, and I had to go to Texas on some business down there, but we are going to resume our VO Tubi Friday, 11 a.m. So make sure to join us if you can join that. That'd be great. Meanwhile, go to the website, check out all the goodies. Like Bev was pointing out earlier, make sure you check out the listener section of the website, drop down to where it says participate, and any other area you can interact with the contributors, and you can click participate and see the 4 or 5 different ways you can be part of the program here. So that's it. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you on demand.
Thanks for listening.
Now
VO Radio
they can see
and
us.
Let's Talk VO. Now we will return you to programming already in progress.